Guess who's back? Back again. Am I gonna have to pay royalties on that? I'm so bad at YouTube. Hi everyone. Yes, I'm aware that it's been a year since I have done a YouTube video, but I don't know, I just been busy. I'm a busy man. I got people to see, I got places to be, I got things to do, I got bills to pay. So anyway, I wanted to do a video today because as you may or may not have seen, I have seemingly overnight become like the Rebecca Black Friday of queer psychology online. A viral sensation. And to be honest, like this is the first time that I've like gone viral in a way that hasn't been related to my sexual health, if you know what I mean. And it's a much less harrowing experience. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So having been at the epicenter of what has been a really wonderful and touching and brilliant conversation about growing up queer, I thought, why not create a video on this exact topic? What is LGBT mental health? Why is it important? Where is our community at on this issue? And what can we do as individuals to help both ourselves and each other? See you after the jump. The LGBT community is a vibrant one. As acceptance of queer people has become more and more commonplace, not only have we secured our rights, but we've also become way more visible and accepted. To be queer is increasingly less and less taboo. We have openly LGBT athletes, movie stars, pop stars. We even have openly LGBT heads of government, like in the Republic of Ireland, whose politics we don't always agree with. Isn't that right, Leo Radker? To be surprisingly conservative. We even have something called queer baiting, which is when public figures are intentionally vague about their sexuality or gender identity in order to kind of appeal to LGBT audiences, which I find mad. Can you believe that I spent 21 years pretending to be straight because being gay was not cool, and then almost immediately after I came out, it all of a sudden became cool? How is that for some shit timing? Anyway, this is a very sunny and positive depiction of progress in the LGBT community, but the truth is that this depiction of us kind of betrays a lot of the difficulties that many of us grew up experiencing. Having grown up hearing or absorbing anti-LGBT sentiments from family or friends or even just sort of wider society can have a massive impact on our ability to maintain a resilient sense of self. When we come out of the closet, we sometimes quietly still believe those ideas, and it takes quite a lot of work in our adulthood to try and sort of push through that and become our authentic self. Like I said, our community is diverse, but it's one thing that I find almost all LGBT people relate to, no matter which letter or letters they kind of identify within the acronym. Well, that and like a weird collective bizarre love of astrology. Have you ever noticed that? Like every queer person I meet is obsessed with astrology. Every interaction that I have with a queer person about astrology goes something like this. Yeah, gay rights. Anyway, I've been meaning to ask you, what astrology sign are you? Oh, astrology. I'm an Aquarius. Oh my god, that is insane. Like, you are such an Aquarius as well. Like, you drinking that coffee right now is like so Aquarius. Is it? Righto. Cool. Anyway, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that this combination of factors can possibly impact on the propensity for LGBT people to suffer from things like anxiety, depression, addiction, eating disorders, and the list goes on. According to a recent report from Stonewall, over 52% of LGBT people have experienced depression in the last year alone. And when you compare that to statistics from the general population from the charity Mind, they say that about 16% of the population experience depression at any given moment, and that 16% includes LGBT people. So it would actually be even less. Statistics for anxiety, eating disorders, and addiction, they all show the same trend, which is that LGBT people on the whole suffer disproportionately. Anyway, so we know the problem. So what can we do about it? Well, firstly, there are some incredible organizations and charities who are doing work on this exact issue, and I'm gonna link to them down in the description below. And these organizations, they do things like they lobby the government to ensure that mental health services are catered to LGBT people. They have focus groups, they offer counseling, they offer bursaries for people who want to train to be LGBT therapists. But alongside supporting and following and donating to these organizations, I also wanted to talk a little bit about what we can do as individuals and as a community to kind of create a better space for us in terms of our mental health. So this is gonna sound annoyingly simple, but I honestly think the best thing that we can do is talk. So many of us are ashamed about the experiences that we've had with poor mental health when really they're experiences that many of us face, and in talking about them, you start to realize that you're not alone. The more that we talk about our poor experiences of mental health, the less isolated we feel, but also the less stigmatized it becomes. Not only that, but starting an open conversation about mental health with my queer friends has made our friendship stronger. We know what each other's anxieties or triggers are, we provide each other with emotional support when we know that the other person really needs it, and we kind of openly and actively check on each other, and these things are what build a beautiful friendship. Imagine the kind of community that we could build. One where we're sharing tips with each other on how we practice self-care. One where we're actively supporting people who experience similar difficulties to us. One where we're not afraid to reach out to people when we're at our rock bottom because we know that there are other people in our community who have felt the exact same way and who have come through the other end. This kind of community it could save lives. Now, not everyone is necessarily inclined to be this open about their mental health, and I completely understand and respect that. I think each of us has to go about this in the way that we feel most comfortable. But I'm gonna leave you with a small challenge that I think everyone can at least try. It's an experiment. We'll see, we don't know. I want you to make it your goal this week to reach out to one other LGBT person in your life and ask them how they are. Now, this can be however you like. This can be like a cute coffee and like a face-to-face chat. It can be sending someone a DM. It can be a Grindr chat. Look, this is a no judgment space. You do you. You do what you want to do. But when you ask them, I don't want you to use the phrase, how are you? I always think that how are you as a phrase is like the basic minimum acknowledgement of someone else's existence. You're not actually asking how they are. You're just like, you exist. What I want you to try asking instead is, what's on your mind at the moment? So I appreciate that this might kind of come across clumsy or weird, but the reason I don't want you to say how are you is sometimes just changing the way that you phrase how are you can really give people an opportunity to actually answer the question. So it's an experiment. They might shrug it off. They might say, actually, there is something in my mind. They might say, you know, climate change is the defining issue of our generation, should not be treated as a partisan issue, but actually an issue of life and death, which I would agree with. Whatever they say, giving other people the opportunity to open up about what's on their mind is the first step in creating a community which puts compassion and our collective well-being at its center. And I don't know about you, but that's the kind of community that I want to be a part of. All right, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I'm going to finish off with one of these.